Welcome to the Thought Space. Today's question is, why are we humans so afraid of impermanence, and does something like impermanence even exist? This question has been fascinating philosophers for centuries. We fear losing people, memories, opportunities, and maybe even our own lives. But what if impermanence is not really the end of things, but more the transformation of them? In order to explore this question, I will discuss the perspectives of Epicurus, John Locke, Martin Heidegger, and the Buddhism philosophy before I will go on to my own. Let's start with Epicurus, as he really challenges the humanity's greatest fear, death. Epicurus argues that death cannot really harm us, as it's the end of sensation. So death and life can never really overlap in time. When we are alive, death is not. When we are deaf, we are not. So the person who dies cannot really experience dying. So all in all, he really says the fear of death is irrational, as it really cannot harm the person itself. John Locke really offers a different perspective to this question. He claims that personal identity depends on memory and consciousness. So losing memories would really mean losing parts of ourselves and of our identity, and would be a threat to our sense of self. So he really states that maybe we're not fearing impermanence in terms of death and non-existence, but more about losing parts of ourselves and identity. So the Buddhist philosophy introduces the concept of anicca, or what we would say impermanence. It really says that nothing is ever permanent and everything is constantly changing. So when we try to make things permanent, which are not and which we cannot, suffering appears. So the Buddhism says that maybe the fear of impermanence would cause way more suffering than impermanence itself ever could. Lastly, let's talk about Heidegger, as he offers another interesting perspective. Instead of seeing death as an ultimate ending, he argues that being aware of death really gives life more meaning, as our time is limited and our choices matter. So Heidegger suggests that confronting mortality allows us to live more authentically and appreciate the time that we have. Talking about my own perspective now, I really have to admit that as I was exploring these three different perspectives, I really started to question if impermanence in the way we imagine it really does exist. People die, relationships end, experiences pass, yet the influence remains. So even though someone is dead and not really here in the physical realm anymore, their actions can and do really change the world. And it doesn't matter if they're still here in the human body or not. So maybe impermanence is not really about the concept of non-existence, but more about transformation. Transformation in a different kind of being and in a different kind of remaining. So I think that's another beautiful perspective to have a look at. That's my take on what is impermanence and why are we humans so afraid of it. And I would say, see you in the next video.